Welcome to the Dean's List, engaging conversations at the intersection of entrepreneurship, artistic expression, and holistic health. Experience wellness in full color, where fashion, beauty, and art blend with body, mind, and soul. Embark on a journey that dresses your aspirations in style, paints your life with beauty, and sculpts your well-being in every dimension. This is the Dean's List, where inspiration is always in session. Welcome to the Dean's List, where we explore the beautiful tapestry of wellness, creativity, and entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Allison Dean, and today I'm excited to introduce a very special guest, Lynn Rachel Rose, a visionary jewelry designer known for her stunning use of vibrant gems to create pieces that are not just accessories, but expressions of art, beauty, and personal well-being. Lynn has a unique talent for capturing the essence of nature's wonders and transforming them into wearable statements of color and light, as you see here. Lynn, it's such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
And she's rocking a lot of the Lynn Rachel Rose as well. So yes, you have it all around today. All right, let's dive in. What inspired you to start Lynn Rachel Rose?
Great question. I've always been a creative type. Ever since I can remember, I was drawing pictures as a little girl, like pictures of women in long dresses, and I had a big fantasy world in my life. So I've always been sort of a design-minded person.
Yeah.
And I had a business for a long time. And then when it closed, I took like over a decade to do a bunch of other things. Mm-hmm. Back in 2021, we were dealing with the pandemic and we were in like major lockdown early part of the year, I think January. And we were also dealing with the California wildfires, which were crazy and causing the sky to be like this, like Pepto-Bismol pink. And the air was not good. We couldn't breathe it. So we were really locked down. And I got a little bit antsy. And I decided I wanted to work with my hands again. So I decided to make a necklace that took me a couple days to make. I took my time. And in honor of my 3-year anniversary, I'm actually wearing it.
I love that.
And I showed it to a friend of mine who was also in lockdown, obviously, and she had often reached out to me to ask my advice on if she should buy this or that jewelry related. Mm-hmm. And I loved giving her suggestions. And she said, you're so creative. Why don't you do this? And I thought, I actually just made a necklace. And she said, why don't you put it up make an Instagram page? And I'm like, I don't want to sell my work. And she's like, why not? Look at it as an art gallery situation. And I thought, I actually like that. And there's no pressure. Mm-hmm. So I did start an Instagram page. I thought about a name and I wanted it to be as close as possible to my name. So I thought Lynn Rachel Rose had a nice ring to it. And thus Lynn Rachel Rose was born. I posted this necklace. I believe this was my first ever post. And I guess the rest is history.
That's amazing. And so, how do you feel like how all that happened? So the vision for, the gallery Instagram page, how has that adapted to just various challenges and successes that you've now encountered over the last 3 years?
Good question and tough question. Let me think. I feel like the focal point from the start was all about having joy and creating joy and spreading joy. So I think so long as that was my primary goal, and it was from the start, as long as I continue to remember that and stay focused on the end goal, which is joy. I've encountered challenges along the way and milestones, but as long as that is the underlying theme, I've had quite a bit of success and felt very positive about what I'm doing. And it's just brought me more and more joy. And my hope is that what I do can bring that joy to other people.
I think that's a really cool thing to lean into overall, right? Like when you really have that level of clarity of the approach and the focal point of your business, I think it's like an autocorrect because like things fall into place with a very clear vision. So that's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
The condo method of jewelry making.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. What does wellness mean to you?
Another great question, and a big question, because wellness is so important for me. I I feel like doing what I do brings me so much wellness,
Mm-hmm.
and it brings me so much joy. And yet at the same time, I have to balance that with the outside world,
Mm-hmm.
the real, in the moment world, which is different. And one of the things that's really important to me is just getting fresh air.
Yeah.
It's amazing how easy it is, especially because I have a social media based business, is just forgetting to get outside and move your body.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, wellness is on so many levels: mental wellness, physical wellness, whatever other wellnesses there are. What I put into my body, I mean, granted, I have my splurges, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but what I put into my body is really important. Things that make me feel good,
Mm-hmm.
getting that fresh air every day, no matter what the weather, moving my body. It's very important for me not to be sedentary. And in this business, if I'm not careful, I could be sedentary like 7 hours straight. So wellness to me is really actually balance,
Mm-hmm.
being in the moment, remembering your end goal, remembering how important the process is,
Mm-hmm.
and off screen time
Oh yeah.
is a huge wellness thing for me.
Digital detox. Yes,
Exactly.
we all need to do that. So in terms of,
Exactly.
day-to-day, like non-negotiables, you would say getting outside, moving your body, eating well, those are like primary things that you have to do on a daily basis.
As well as, and I don't know if this is going to be a question down the road, but staying away from toxicity.
Oh.
So it is very, when you're in an underslept state, for example, like I can be quite often because I suffer from insomnia, it's really important to not engage in negativity,
Mhm.
in comparing, which I can do sometimes when I'm my lower self, so
Yeah.
to speak. All those things bring us negative energy and make us not feel well. It can also affect my sleep. I can be up really late at night thinking about something that I have no control over. So wellness is also staying away from that negative, toxic vibe. And to be honest, in the little jewelry community that I'm in, as fantastic and supportive and loving as it is, there's also the dark side, and it's really important not to engage that.
Not to fall into it, not to become a
Yes.
victim of it. Yeah, no, that's I think that's an excellent point because you have to recognize when something is just not a good thing. I think
Yeah.
some people lean into it. I now just say bye. I
Yes.
don't like to put my energy into any of those places. It's just not for our own mental health. For
Yes.
me, it's just not worth it. Um,
Agree.
we didn't talk about this, but I feel like it's an interesting question that I hope you answer the way that I think you will. But do you view yourself as a wellness entrepreneur?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I know we can like dig into that because part of it was, we talked a little bit about, and I mentioned on last week's episode, the connection between fashion and wellness and how those things come together. And so I really do think that depending on what the entrepreneur in fashion is doing, right? So I'm not saying that all fashion entrepreneurs maybe I would put in the wellness entrepreneur category, but I think I would definitely put you there, Lynn.
Definitely. I also think, I don't know if I'm going on like another tangent here, but one thing about fashion
Mhm.
that, because I'm a former fashion designer, I had a fashion business for 13 years. I studied fashion design. I have my BFA in fashion design.
Right.
It's really important because the fashion world is, from my experience, and again, this could be because of the past, like maybe it's different now, new generations, but that was a very toxic world for me. I left for that reason.
Mhm.
And so I think really, really important not to be a trend follower.
Mhm.
Therefore, I might set a trend, like say, this is what's happening now, because I might be obsessed with a certain type of stone or a certain length or a certain type of layering.
Mhm.
But I'm never going to say, this is in, this is out.
Right.
And that's one thing about fashion that can be kind of toxic, is when you actually listen to the influencers that say, get rid of your skinny jeans or get rid of your heels because it's all over. And then what about all the waste?
Mhm.
You get rid of something, and then 8 years later, it's back in style, and you have to buy something new.
Yep.
So I also think about the environmental impact and all of that. It's really, really important not to get caught up in that aspect of trends and fashion and things.
It goes back to joy, I think, Lynn, right? Does it make you feel good? And then if it does, then it doesn't
Yeah,
matter what other people think, right? If you like it and it makes
yeah,
you happy, then that's what matters, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
We spend so much of our lives worrying about what other people think. I
Right.
am one of those people who grew up that way. I cared so much about what others thought. I wanted to be liked, I wanted to be loved. And as a result, sometimes I made decisions in the past that didn't serve me.
Right.
And so now I really want to lead in that mindset of, if you're passionate about it, if it makes you feel good, go for it.
Yep. Here, here. Okay.
Yeah.
So we know entrepreneurship can be overwhelming. So can you share how you're navigating some of these challenges, like especially when it comes to balancing the requests that you get from clients to your own, personal well-being?
Yes. So the energy that I put out is the energy that I get back. So one thing I like to do is make everything fun
Mhm.
and joyful. And I want to bring people along with me. I don't want it. So this is not about me. This is about us
Mhm.
and a community and like just supporting one another. It's not that I want to support jewelry shopping addictions, but just making things fun, making things creative, reminding people that they can go into their wardrobe or jewelry stash and use something they never used before, or bring an heirloom piece in, like a vintage brooch with one of my new designs or one of my classic designs. Just, it's really, really important to have fun. I
Mhm.
don't know if I'm even answering the question anymore. But learning to say no is another thing
That's big.
that I have learned, and
Mhm.
it's still a challenge. I love to make others happy. I love if somebody, especially someone who owns one of my pieces or someone who's just discovered me, and maybe they've been following me for months and they haven't purchased anything and they finally found the right moment to buy. It's very hard to say, I'm too busy right now. But
Yeah.
I am trying, it's very nuanced, but I am trying to navigate that and learn how to say no with respect, or maybe say, hey, right now I'm just too busy. Do you want to contact me in 1 month and let's chat then and see what happens? But setting those boundaries for me is a really good way to allow myself that time out to recover and reflect and just be outside of that world of making things for other people.
Yeah. And also probably ensuring that your non-negotiables are still happening along the way too, right? Getting outside,
Absolutely.
cleansing, digital detox, all those
Yes.
things. But I think the ability to say no, I think is critical, or at least say not right now, right? So I think
Yeah.
that's a great way to balance it, is like, hey, because anybody that wants one of your pieces, Lynn, they're totally gonna contact you in a month if like they really want like
Yeah.
they're
It's
totally
true.
happy to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the biggest challenge that you faced really in all this coming to fruition and bringing Lynn Rachel Rose to life?
So the biggest challenge for me, and it's actually been kind of a fun challenge that I like to put myself up to, has been navigating how to bring this growing, blossoming business into my real life and allow myself to continue to live my real life.
Yes.
And what that entails in my case is my husband and I both love to travel. He is even more of a traveler than I am. I thought I was the world traveler when I met him. And then I met him and I was like, oh, wow, I've not gone anywhere compared to you. My husband has been a very vital part of my life and the love that I feel and can give to others. So I want to spend that time with him. He's a bit older than me, and he's just been such an incredible support to me with being able to make this business. When before I had this business, my plan was not to work and just to take some classes and recover from a bunch of health issues in the past. So just the fact that he's been here with me on this journey
Mm-hmm.
is so huge. I want to continue to spend time with him and my loved ones, my mom, my brother, my close friends, this community. I've even made some friends. So I think with our situation, we we are not always in the same place. Like right now I'm in San Francisco, but we go back and forth between here and another location.
Mm-hmm.
And in the summer we go somewhere else. So the biggest challenge has really been logistics and my inventory. Figuring out what I have to take with me when I go somewhere, just gauging how many days am I going to be gone, who might need something, what am I going to be in the mood for. I can't ever come on a trip empty-handed. So figuring out where my beads are going to be and which beads are going to be where. And the ideal situation is to have an equal amount of stones in all the locations.
Right.
It's not always possible, but I have sort of worked it out. It's been 3 years now and it's been a slow process, but that has been a big challenge, but a fun one. And also just the logistics of that. So how do you bring and protect lovingly all of your finished pieces and unfinished pieces and your clients' goodies that are not shipping yet? How do you take them with you, keep them safe all the time during these travel experiences? I care less and less about my shoes and clothing than I do about my jewelry now.
Right.
And so I just have this image of me with my husband. We've just gotten off the plane. We're walking to our apartment or Airbnb or wherever we're staying. And I am dragging like 120-pound carry-on of gemstones and other things. It's like an ordeal, but it's fun and it's totally worth it. So
who needs shoes when you've got gemstones? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. Like who needs them?
Exactly.
That's actually a really interesting, that is an interesting challenge, right? Because I think it also ties back into your non-negotiables for your own wellness, right? And probably a component of that is being able to travel and still maintain the lifestyle that you had before, this business came to life. So I think that's really fascinating. And we'll talk a little bit more about, I think, technology and where technology can help assist with some of this stuff. But it is the inventory thing. That's fascinating. I think that's something that probably people wouldn't naturally just go, oh yeah, she's probably having inventory. It's like, yeah,
it's a challenge.
Yeah.
It's a first world challenge, but it's still a challenge.
Right.
And it's every day I think about it like, I'm going here for 3 weeks. What did I have to go find that list of what I noticed was missing from my bead collection. And I'm constantly,
it's like an SAT question almost. It's like, okay, I'm going here for this long. How many beads do we need for this and what's the weight? It's like, that could be a complicated SAT question. Okay. What is one significant way in which being an entrepreneur has changed or grown you as a person?
I think it has validated me in terms of maybe some insecurities I had in the past where I wasn't sure if I was on the right path or saying the right thing. I think that it has changed. It hasn't changed my true self at all. I'm still the same person. And that was, again, my goal from the beginning is don't change yourself. But I think I have found myself to be a lot more confident in my decisions, in my life in general. I don't question myself as much. Yes. Am I indecisive often? Absolutely. But just it has the feedback from my wonderful followers and clients and friends has just been so uplifting and incredible that I will admit it has brought me a lot of even more love, even more joy. And as a result, just feel like I'm exactly where I need to be. I don't second guess myself as much. And all of this experience of creating and making jewelry and sharing it with others has definitely helped to define even further who I am.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that that's the most rewarding part of owning a business is the reactions, the client satisfaction, or is there?
It's not as much the reactions because I'm not here to watch other people's joy. I want everyone to have their own joy, but it's absolutely fulfilling to be able to have a certain mindset and a certain goal and a certain energy. And I'm the kind of person I have to share. I can't just hold stuff inside. I might give you a lot of TMI, but I'd rather do that than not tell you how I'm feeling. So I think that my energy brings a certain person to my platform and to my space, and vice versa. Like, I pick my clients pick me. And I think that overwhelming energy is just so positive and so loving and so wonderful. So let's see if I lost my train of thought again. I'm trying to remember what the question
The
was.
most rewarding part of owning a business.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. When I offer a necklace to a client, I mean, when a client buys a necklace, when I first started this, I really thought, like my former business, it was going to be a one-time purchase. And there is nothing more exciting and fulfilling and wonderful than to have someone show up even a year later, a month later, 2 years later, a week later, the next day, and say, I have to have another one.
Yeah.
I have to have another one.
Right.
It is so fantastic. And it has nothing to do with money, material. It has to do with the fact that I have been able to communicate something that's so important to me, and that person felt that and experienced that for themselves. So it's also that I'm so lucky that I get to start something from a single stone, like a rough, like we're talking about a rough, like not a rock, that starts as a rock and becomes a necklace that someone gets to hold. Like, I get to see that whole process. And that is also very, just like, that is the best feeling.
Yeah. There's obviously a lot of healing properties when it comes to gems, and so I don't know that it's necessarily what we often see on your page, like leaning into the whole construct of gems and making, doing different things energetically to the body. But I think we talked about this a little earlier, the connection between fashion and wellness, I think is really powerful, or it can be, right? If it's if you understand like why wearing certain things make you feel a certain way, right? So obviously, I'm not endorsing people going bankrupt because they're buying too many things, but I do think it's really important for people to know that it's okay if something makes you feel good. It makes you feel good, right? Like, and I think, I'm curious for you to dig into that a little bit more, because I think that you've also experienced some of that push and pull, right? Between where fashion and wellness, where those things coexist.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, anyone can post the healing property of a gemstone. I mean, anyone, literally someone day one on their business. And that's true. Gemstones do have really healing properties, and all of mine do just as much as anyone's. But I feel like, for me, it goes even beyond that. So first of all, we shouldn't be ashamed if we fall in love with something and we want to have it. And it's even for me, when I started this page, I was hiding the fact that I loved expensive jewelry. I created a page that none of my friends or family knew about for over a year because I didn't want to be judged. Now I don't care what people think, and I'm very comfortable in my own skin about what I'm doing. So all of my family and friends are here following me. But there should be no shame in falling in love with a beautiful piece that makes you happy. And I think that maybe Lynn Rachel Rose jewelry provides that for some people beyond just gemstone qualities and gemstone healing properties, because I make it a purpose that every time I am making jewelry, every time I am designing jewelry, I am in a loving, creative, passionate space in my head. I never work on jewelry when I'm cranky or tired or angry. That doesn't turn out. So what I'm putting into the world is something that's made with love, not just with the care that goes into the detail, the technical detail, but also these are custom made gemstones. So I get to pick the stone and have them made. And there's like a purpose in everything. And just for people to have that tactile experience when they feel my necklaces for the first time. I mean, I've gotten some wonderful feedback from clients that they reach for it a lot. And there's something about just holding it that's different. And that's just so great.
And it makes them
the
feel good.
temperature, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel beautiful.
Yeah.
And I also talk about how important it is to be gentle and loving with your jewelry and not abuse it, because that's also going to be a negative experience. So it's just really important to buy what you love and cherish it and enjoy it and wear it. And if it makes you feel good, I mean, why not? That's amazing.
I love that. Yeah. All right. How do you measure success beyond the financial bottom line?
Success is measured in many ways. I don't like to measure in general. I feel materialistic when I say this, but I would say success is someone comes back to buy another necklace. There's that. Just that alone is like amazing to me. Like I'm humbled. I'm like, you want to buy another one? I just shipped you your last necklace and you want another one? You just wrote me today. You sent me a picture of what you just got in the mail today. And you're already telling me what you want next. That's not just like joy. I guess that's my idea of success. I also noticed that I do not have the bandwidth to post on my Instagram page at this point that customs are open or requests are open, because I already get so many requests as it is without even trying. So I don't publicize that. And I feel like the fact that I can barely keep up with the requests is definitely a feeling of success.
Yeah. There's a lot of demand. That's always a good indicator. Yeah.
Yes.
It's amazing.
And I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah. Well, and I think it goes back to people can feel the love, right? They feel all the love in the jewels, and they're like, I need more of that love. I need more of that Lynn Rachel Rose love. And
if I may say, there's one thing I introduced recently. I think it was the beginning of this year. I realized that every single one of my designs fits into 4 categories of moods.
I love that. Yeah.
And that was like a really cool revelation, because I never thought about that way, but it really does. Every single one really does fit into a certain category. It's amazing. And of course there's overlaps, and one day I'm going to make like a diagram, but I think it's also fun for people, and it's interactive, almost like doing your cards or your horoscope. Like people are curious, which is the uplifting one, which is the grounding one. And I really, really, truly feel those things when I'm wearing the necklace, or if I see it on a client, I'm like, oh, look at that. It's so balanced, or it's so calming. And it's just, that's also been really fun. That's a new thing I'm doing.
I liked that too. I think that's going to also really be amazing with a website, which we will talk about. Because all those things help people in their buying process, right? I mean, it's so much more than just, a lot of it is if you love how it looks, right? So let's be honest, right? But I think it also helps people, it might like push them over the edge if they're like, oh, I really need an uplifting piece, or I do really need a grounding piece, or, so I think those things just help the buying process when you're really not seeing it in front of you, right? Like you're seeing an image of it, and you're just going on your gut feeling, right? Of is this the one? And actually, we're going to talk about technology now. So, in what ways currently are you leveraging tech to enhance your business?
Well, I started my business on Instagram. That's how it all started, and it's been an incredible platform for me. And I'm not super tech savvy, so I haven't yet taken advantage of all the things I want to, but the Instagram page has been huge, and it has been my bread and butter. I am, however, super excited to diversify. I don't want to be so dependent on a platform that isn't mine.
Right.
And so I am very excited and very, it's been a very slow process, but I am working on building a shopping website. So I'm very, very excited about that. And that is like all tech, but I need help. I need help and I'm getting help and I'm very grateful for that. It's just taking a long time.
Yeah. Well, it takes time. I mean, a lot of those things, unless you're an engineer or unless you're someone that just has a very clear, you're just able to do all the things, those things
Yeah.
take time when you have to rely on
Yeah.
people. And hopefully tech will at some point also be able to help with some of the inventory, I think, challenges when you're traveling and housing inventory and what that could look like. So I'd be curious.
Yeah.
I'd be curious for you to keep me posted on that, Lynn, of how technology is
Absolutely.
unlocking some solutions for you from an inventory standpoint,
Sure.
Okay. We're going to do a quick fire. Very quick.
Oh,
I know.
okay.
Very quick. Very fun. Should be.
Okay.
First thing that comes to mind. No stress. Okay.
All right.
This is to help people get to know you in a different way. Okay. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Night owl.
And is that when you get your best work done? Night?
Oh gosh, yes. It's very hard for me to work during the day. This is a secret confession and it's embarrassing, but I work the best and I'm the most excited to work after dinner.
I love that. That's great.
And I eat dinner late.
Okay. It's like they do in Argentina. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. Or Spain.
Yeah, right. Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a fine if you like tea too, right? Like, I mean, it's like if it's both, that's okay.
You know what I really like is bouillon.
Bouillon, like having like broth.
Yeah, it's the best.
I love that. Okay.
It's so good.
See, fun facts about Lynn you never knew. Okay, what was the first job you ever had?
Oh, wow. That is a good one. Okay, let me think. Domino's Pizza Delivery Girl.
Oh, I love it. Okay. What's the one app you can't live without? I can guess this one.
Yeah, Instagram, I'd say.
It's like it's a hard. I mean, there's so many. What's the one word you would use to describe your business journey?
That is not fair. One word.
Mm-hmm. I can give you one, but
give me some hints. Give me some options.
Joyous, enriching.
I like joyful. I wanted to use two words.
Okay, use two. That's fine.
I'm a Berkeley girl. My parents were hippies. I want to really say spreading love, as cheesy as that might be, but I think honestly, the overall thing is spreading love.
Okay, I'm into it. Let's go with that. If you could have any entrepreneur as a mentor for a day, who would it be?
I would say Miuccia Prada.
Cool. Okay, see, you did it.
Because she was the first, her brand was the first brand that I was obsessed with. As a 16-year-old, I had pictures of Prada ads on my wall before even fashion, when they were just shoes and handbags. And I didn't know what it was about it, but I just fell in love with the whole aesthetic.
I love that. So you did it. See? Okay. What's a book that has significantly influenced your business mindset, if there is one, or just a favorite book, whichever one?
I'm going to be completely frank with you. I wish so much I was a reader, but it's one of the few things I don't really do.
Okay.
And so if I were to give you a book, it would be like Enneagram for Dummies. Like it would be more informational as opposed to like a novel.
Well, I'd say the Enneagram also can reveal things about an entrepreneur and how closely aligned entrepreneurism to you, the connection. So I think that's fine. Yeah. There you go. See, you're answering all of them, Lynn. If you could instantly acquire one new skill instantly, what would it be?
If I could instantly acquire, I'm stalling right now, one new skill, I think it would be to be able to do vinyasa yoga positions flawlessly.
Okay, I like it. That's awesome. Okay.
Specifically chaturanga, which I'm really bad at,
Mm.
and I've never been able to master. Like that, it's that simple.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I like it.
Seriously.
If you could time travel to any period in history, which era would you visit?
Absolutely 100% the 1930s.
Okay.
And that has nothing to do with fashion,
Yeah.
has nothing to do with anything. It has to do with the fact that when I was a little girl, I didn't understand that time travel wasn't possible. And I was obsessed with going back into time
Mhm.
to when my mom was born
Mhm.
so that I could go back into her house and see her parents, which were my grandparents, and experience the home and the life and what she did every day. And she was born in 1934. So it would absolutely be the 30s.
I love that. Okay, last one. If you weren't doing this, what else would you be doing?
If I weren't doing this, oh my God, I would be doing so many other things. I would be I mean, this is going to sound crazy. I would be a genealogist. I would be a sommelier.
Oh.
I would be a motivational speaker.
Okay.
I would be a yoga instructor.
Okay, that's a lot of things. I love it. Okay, that was good. You did your quick fire, Lynn. That was
Thank you.
well done.
That was hard.
Well, hopefully it wasn't hard. It's just like they some of them are very thoughtful though. It's not like just like the coffee tea thing, right? Oh, I didn't ask you. What's your favorite color?
Right now, my favorite color is brown.
Ooh, okay. Brown.
Actually, I love brown.
Okay,
so much.
Rich. All right. What is the one piece of wisdom that you'd pass on to a new entrepreneur that's aiming to create something different?
Well, don't focus on the end result, especially if the end result is success and money. Mm-hmm. Focus on your end goal as a feeling only. So, and focus on something that makes you happy while you're doing it. So don't try to be successful just so you can stand out. Like if it's something that's going to be different, it has to be something that comes from your heart, not from what everyone else is doing, because that's just going to flood the market.
Right.
So go with your heart. If you think your idea is weird, if you think that if you've been told it's never going to work, that's not necessarily the case. So just, I would say, follow your gut, follow your heart, and focus on the process, not the end result.
Well said. I love that. Okay. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that I should have?
We didn't really talk too much about the experience that can happen when you get overwhelmed and how you deal with that.
Yeah.
And that's been very ever present for me, especially lately. Especially with this milestone, 3-year milestone, and also the new year.
Yeah.
I would say that in the Instagram post at the beginning of the year, I did a New Year's resolution. And for me, New Year's and new beginnings are huge. They really help me to cleanse, to clear out the bad stuff, the old stuff that doesn't serve me. And it's just a fresh start. It just feels good when you can do a little reset button. And sometimes like the new year or an anniversary is an opportunity.
Yeah.
So I've been really excited about all the new goals I have for this year. And one of them is to solve my challenge of feeling always overwhelmed.
Okay.
And I realized that in order for me not to feel overwhelmed, because I'm not Superman and I cannot do everything, I have to let go. I have to bring on some help, some support with people who are passionate about things that I'm not passionate about to help to grow the business and, not necessarily scale the business, because I don't like that word, but I need to get more help. And I'm finally ready to let go a little bit and find my posse so that I can relieve myself of this feeling of overwhelm and get a little more balance in my life. I know I say that a lot, but I really, really want to do it now. And I'm ready. So I'm actually really excited about not feeling overwhelmed.
I love that. I mean, I think a part of it is just when you kind of reach that decision for yourself of like, I'm going to take this step because I know if I take this step, it's going to equate to me feeling different.
Yes.
And it's going to help. So right there, that's a huge win right there, is just the recognition that you need to take a step to alleviating some of the feeling of being overwhelmed. So I think that's a beautiful thing for us to know that you're attesting to right here on the Dean's List, Lynn. I love that.
And Allison, I wanted to comment on your necklaces because
yes, please.
I met you through Instagram.
Yes, you did.
And I wanted to say that I'm notating that you have 2 uplifting color palettes. And to me, that just totally fits your personality with your fabulous curls and your red lips and blush. It's like you're wearing the Wild Peacock, which is one of my favorite classic color palettes. It's always different, but it's always unique.
Love it.
And it's super vibrant. And then you're wearing one of the classic rainbows, one of the early classic rainbows, which I think is called, actually, I'm not sure if you're wearing Clara. I think you're wearing Clara, actually. So it's just nice to see you wearing those 2. They go great together, but it's fun to see people in what they choose because it totally fits their character. So I'm just loving what you're wearing today.
Hey, thank you so much. I mean, should we model the things that you have on right now? The LRR piece that you've got, this is the one that you said like launched everything, right?
Yeah, actually, I want to bring this back, people. I'm very excited. Wire wrapping is a skill that a lot of people have. It's not that hard to do, but I really want to bring this concept back. This is my first ever wire wrapped gemstone rainbow necklace. It's a double strand. It's one long piece.
That's awesome.
And I just haven't had time to make one because to make one of these is like 4 days, like 33 hours.
Oh, wow.
So I am going to be bringing this back. It's just going to take a little while. I'm working on a plan, but this is my anniversary necklace. I'm never going to ever sell it or give it away because it's a representation of this business.
Yeah.
And this is a Giverny, which is inspired by Monet's garden.
Yep.
This is one that I made just for myself. I had this vintage, spring ring that is so big that none of the jump rings fit. So I finally had large jump rings made to be able to fit this piece. So I really love it. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm wearing, and a few layers from other people.
Fabulous. It's all fabulous. All right, Lynn, please share all your socials. Where do people find you, and any final messages for the audience?
Thank you so much for being here. You can really find me mostly on Instagram. That's where I'm around most of the time. Lynn Rachel Rose is my Instagram name, one word. And you can also find me eventually. I will have my own website. For the moment, I have a landing page. So go to lynnrachelrose.com. Please sign up for my newsletter. I'm going to have one coming very soon, and I would love for you to be a part of it. There's going to be a lot of exciting things I'll be sharing. And I hope the website will be up in the next 6 to 8 weeks. And I want to make one little offer to anyone watching the show. So the Dean's List, if you mention Allison at the Dean's List, if you DM me and order a chunky gemstone necklace before the end of 2024, and you mention the Dean's List, I will offer you complimentary shipping.
Awesome.
Or $25 towards anything you want to buy. So,
Lynn?
A little something.
Hey, let's see what happens. I love that. Thanks so much. That's an amazing offering. All right. Yeah. Well, I think we did it, Lynn. How do you feel?
I feel great.
Okay, good. Well, thanks for being on the Dean's List, and
thanks for having me.
Thank you all for being here with us. And thank you all for tuning into this episode of the Dean's List. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform to stay updated, and follow us on Instagram at official_Dean's List and YouTube at It's Official Dean's List. I'm your host, Allison Dean. Until next time.